So, sir, welcome. We are live on YouTube right now.
Yeah.
We have a very special and one of the most experienced professional from CSR and sustainability in space. He's one of the most awarded person in and CSR. We have with us Mr. Sita Ram Gupta, who's the Executive Director of Lupin Foundation. He joined Lupin Foundation at a very nascent stage and increased scaled up the entire foundation from one state to 9 states, from 35 to 4,371 villages, from one block to 53 blocks, and much more. I would like to welcome you, sir. We are all here to learn from you from all the achievements that you have garnished in a short span of time, sir. Welcome on LIGC.
Yeah. So thank you, Harsha, very much. And really, thank you very much because you are chasing me like anything. And finally, you caught hold of me, actually, I should say. Thank you very much, really. And thank you very much for your patience, number one. And yes, let us talk something and let us learn from each other because this is a huge world. We have to learn from each other, actually. Before coming to this livelihood of Lupin Foundation, actually, most important is that let us think about our country first, actually. Our country is a very big country, and big country in the sense that it has got 739 districts and more than 6,000 villages and more than 6.3 lakhs of 6,000 blocks and 6.3 lakhs of villages. So this is a big country. It is a diverse country at the same time because the highest rainfall of the world is here in this country, that is in Cherrapunji, and the lowest rainfall of world is here in Jaisalmer and of course in Ladakh. So this is a very huge and diverse country. Therefore, whatever options of livelihood has to come, so because of diversity, so diverse livelihood options should come. So this is one thing. Second is that India is finally arrived. It is an emerging country now, and we are the sixth economy of the world with $3 trillion, and we are poised to become a $10 billion economy by 2032. So, but on the contrary, if we see that as far as the human development indicators are concerned, we are relegated to 130th position. So here comes the role of business, actually. A lot of work has been done in 70 years by the government, but a lot has to be done. And one most important part is that the Honorable Prime Minister of this country has spoken about Atmanirbhar Bharat. Sometimes self-reliant India, actually. This Atmanirbhar Bharat. And country has to believe in itself, actually. I'm giving you two words, actually. One is the potential, another is the performance. So the gap between potential and performance has to be narrowed down. If you see before COVID, the health infrastructure was very weak. We were not having PPE kits. We were not having ventilators. What to talk of this COVID vaccines and all these things. Now you are the exporter, you see. You are supporting other countries, not your country only. So you have to believe in yourself, actually. This is number one. So you have to narrow down this was the potential of this country, and this has been converted into the performance, and this performance and potential has to narrow down. I'm giving you one more example of Bharatpur. Since decades, actually, the mustard was grown over here. And you will be surprised to know that Bharatpur is a mustard growing area. And it has got, Mustard Institution of Indian Institute of Agriculture Research. But nobody in that institution thought of beekeeping over here. And 17 years before, we started beekeeping program over here. Now it is one of the largest honey producing district in the country. And 3,000 tons of honey is being produced. and more than 4,000 persons are engaged directly or indirectly in this beekeeping activity. This is the number one activity. It was not earlier actually. So this was the potential existing, and this is the performance done actually. Now it is the number one exporter of honey in this country. 8,000 tons of breast honey is being exported from Bharatpur district. So this is huge actually. So this is the potential of this country actually. Another thing which I want to speak about is that what is the lesson learned actually? Lesson learned is that you have to identify the latent potential of your country, your district, your block, your village. You have to identify that latent potential actually. So this is how this latent potential of beekeeping was identified, converted into an opportunity, and gave a sustainable livelihood actually. And this is one thing. Another major thing is that we have to do some critical thinking. What is that critical thinking is that how to create problems into potential. So you must have that much of, critical thinking. In Bharatpur, Gurgama Canal flows. In Gurgama Canal, there was, because of this canal, there was a seepage of water. And the land was rendered useless. No cultivation was taking place over there. Then we start these seepage area were converted into water bodies, and we started fisheries program. Now 1,200 tons of fish is being produced over here, and this area is very near to Delhi, only 100 kilometer or 95 kilometer, and the whole economy of that area has been changed. So only thing is that that was a problem, and it has been converted into a potential. This is the second thing actually. Third, I'm telling you the unconventional things actually. This third thing is that we never concentrate on locations actually. And in Bharatpur and UP, Govardhanji Maharaj is there. And when I visited this Govardhanji Maharaj, then I thought that what is this? They said that this is Tulsi Mala. So I asked that there is a huge demand. Yes, there is a huge demand. Can you supply it? Then we started Tulsi Mala making over here. And 3,000 women are making Tulsi Malas in Bharatpur today. The cultivation of Tulsi has also grown actually. And but the technology was very obsolete. So we contacted IIT Delhi, and the technology, the adaptable technology and the good technology were put into place. The productivity has gone up. So this is how you can do things. Another is we never map those institutions actually. You need not to reinvent the wheel actually. There are a number of institutions actually. We say that we will do separately, but so much is lying in these laboratories. What is required is the coordination, and coordination is required that it should transfer from laboratory to land. So these are the technologies. And then we thought that veterinary university is here, and we should use this veterinary university of Mathura, that is in UP. And we invited those people over here, and they have done a marvelous work over here. And because of this, they said that why don't you introduce Murrah buffaloes? So we went to Haryana. The Murrah buffalo is the best breed as far as the milch animals are concerned, and the buffaloes, they are the best breed. So we brought 12,000 Murrah buffaloes, and 12,000 Murrah buffaloes were purchased by farmers themselves actually. So over 25,000 Murrah buffaloes have come over here, and that whole scene has been changed. Animal husbandry is a vocation for landless farmers, because 30% farmers have got land now. And so now this we have to start thinking about landless and even the marginal farmers. This is one thing. Fourth most important thing is the technology actually. The farmers are agitating on the borders actually. And you have to think that how the Prime Minister has given a clarion call, the farmers' income has to be doubled. I tell you, this income cannot only be doubled, but it can be tripled and 4 times actually. And so what is required is the value addition at the farmer's end. So we have identified, the number of machines in different cities of India. So we went to Kolhapur. We went to this Ahmedabad, we went to Agra, we went to Jaipur, we went to some cities of Punjab, Faridabad. Then there are number of, you see, cottage industries machines for packing, grading, and so on. And we brought, you see, 15 machines for khoa making. So milk is being produced in the district because we have got 25,000 buffaloes. So we went for value addition, And because of value addition, the khoa is being produced, mawa is being produced, fresh paneer is being produced, ghee is being produced. So those farmers, they were seeking for income enhancement, and they have become the job provider. So this is the beauty of this country, actually, I tell you frankly. So this is the beauty of this country. So you have to introduce the farm machineries in the rural area so that the value addition takes place in the rural areas. Another most important part is that whole district has been, you see, divided into clusters. So this is a horticulture cluster, this is a vegetable cluster, this is a honey cluster, this is the floriculture cluster actually. Even if you see in Corona times actually, the agriculture has done very well actually, rather better than the previous year actually. So this has been our strength of this country actually. And even the dairy sector has also done very well actually. So you have to identify these areas of clusters, and you have to introduce these high value crops. Other than this traditional crops of, you see, even this wheat and rice. So we introduce these high value crops. So this Goba was introduced in Bharatpur district. And Bharatpur Goba is famous now actually. And there are more than 3,000 farmers which are, you see, engaged in Goba production. And the Goba is going directly to the Delhi. It is not even available to me in Bharatpur. So this is, see, this is the strength of, you see, this country. Goba making, bear making. Bear we have introduced. If you go to, you see, Agra, then you will find that this is the Chiksana bear. Chiksana is a village in Bharatpur. So the variety has become from the village. They derive their brand from village itself. So this is how, you see, this can be done. Lastly, I should say that I don't know how much time is there, then how it will go. But mostly thing is that we have created some, next very important thing, that we have to keep eye on the government schemes actually. And I'm telling you a very fantastic story actually. One day the collector came to my chamber, and then he asked, "Man, why did you come, sir?" He said that I want to have a coffee with you. Okay. And then I told him that Swachhta Bharat Mission is there. The Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana is taking place. Have you assessed how much masons are required? He said, "No, I have not assessed." So then he called his CO, whether you had made an assessment. He also said no. I told him that I have made an assessment. 7,000 masons are required in one district for these implementation of these two schemes. And how to create these laborers into masons. It was a huge task for us. Then we invited, you see, Indian Institute of Building Institute Research, Rotary over here. They came over here, trained these laborers into masons. Then we give them these kits to them and toolkits to them. And now most of the kacha houses has been made pakka houses. 10% district has been made as ODF actually. So you have to keep an eye on the government scheme. They are also, you see, a generator of jobs actually. Now, if you see in future, this Ayushman Bharat is coming. So everybody is talking of one thing. What is one thing? That they have got a insurance coverage of 5 lakhs, and they will cover 50,000 population of this country. But nobody is talking of the creation of jobs. I tell you, 1 crore of jobs will be created because 1.5 lakhs of this wellness center will be created. So this is how the jobs are. Jobs will be created. You see, you have to look for your newer jobs actually. So this is one thing. In Bharatpur district, I tell you that we have created more than 40,000 jobs which were not existing earlier, on a sustainable basis. So what is the lesson learned is? What is the lesson learned? So if you have 30,000 jobs through identification of latent potential in other areas, other areas. And if you go for 700 districts, you can create 21 crores of jobs in this country, I tell you. This is the single most thing which can be done actually. And we have made Bharatpur district as a poverty-free district. And I have made, we had made all these studies conducted actually. You talk of you talk of any organization, these big fours. We have got all these things done actually. Now we are working on, you see, the unemployment-free district actually. We are working on it. So these are the areas actually this country has to work, and this country, as I always see, that it is today's opportunity and tomorrow's story. I tell you frankly, this is the strength of this country. This is the strength of this country. If you see this, the country geography remains same, which it was in 1947, but demographically it has multiplied more than 4 times actually. So you have to find out newer jobs actually. So this is the area in which we have to work. And after Corona, if you see, the 2 words which have come is life and livelihood. So life is being taken care now. Vaccination has come, hospital infrastructure, government after government is allocating more funds for health. Now we have to look for livelihood options in this country. Another area which I think the country has missed the bus. This is a very important area. That is the migrant workers actually. The mapping of those skills of migrant workers was not done by this country. Only one state government has done, that is UP. That is done. So now these migrant workers, I do not call them migrant workers. It is rather a migrant economy actually, because they are working in the cities. They are, you see, working for the factories. They are sending some money to their relatives or parents or the kids in the rural areas. So this is a migrant economy. It's a huge economy. So skills should be mapped actually, and the government should come out with a clear policy whether this 30% population has to be retained in the villages, or 70% will go back, or 40% will be retained in the villages, or the 60% will go to the cities actually. And if this 40 to 30% migrant workers remain in those rural areas, they have got skill sets. If we can provide these machineries, which I am talking about, then they can be a job provider. They can be a job provider actually in this country. So this is the scene of the country. And I think the corporate, now it's the duty of the corporate. It's a defining moment for the country. We are at the crisscross roads actually. Is it defining? If the corporate can take charge, I think the country's whole scene could be changed over here. No problem at all, actually. I am so optimistic, actually. So this could be changed. And with these words, this is the introductory, words I have made. You can ask questions, let it be very more interactive. So I will be happy to have it. Yeah.
Thank you so much for all the information that you've shared with us. During the COVID-19 times, the unemployment has surpassed in some sectors. What are the livelihood initiatives, as you mentioned? How do you foresee to grow them? The way you have expanded the Lupin Foundation, how do you see the livelihood initiatives that you have taken to be replicated and multiplied and also collaborated with other corporates?
Yeah, there are 2-3 things actually. Let me talk of Corona first actually. In Corona times, agriculture has not slowed down. The animal husbandry sector, dairy sector has not slowed down. Yes, but there was a slowdown, but there was an opportunity. And we have produced around about 10 lakhs of masks, and the women were provided, you see, these jobs. We were giving 5 rupees to them, and 5 rupees was the cost of clothes and this stitching charge and all these things. So these women got jobs through this, number one. Another is that in this period, look for machineries actually. And this is during the Corona time that we could identify machineries, different machineries, rice mills, everything. These are long list actually. I want to eat into your time actually, but long list actually. So we are going to provide these machineries to in these villages. So livelihood options will be there in the village itself. So this is how we are going. Number two thing that how you have multiplied and how and what more could be done. Actually, in this out of you see 739 districts. If you see the bifurcation of this 739 districts, 139 districts of this country, uppermost, they contribute 42% of GDP. 42% of the GDP, 139 days. Now you are remaining, let us talk of remaining 600 districts of this country. So the 200 are, you see, we call it poor districts. I do not like this backward actually. Indians are never backward. They may be poor, they are not backward. Because culturally we are so strong, so we are not backward. So in 200 districts, 112 districts have been identified as the aspirational districts by the Niti Aayog. So we are also working in 3 districts, right? So another 88 districts could be identified as the aspirational districts by the respective state governments. So now we can work for 200 districts, okay? So 112 by Niti Aayog and the state. This is how it could be done actually. Another is that the answer for this is the district development program. District development program is the most important part of it. When signing an MOU with Niti Aayog, and we didn't sign for agriculture, we didn't sign an MOU for this education or health, because there are 6 parameters actually. Education, health and nutrition, water and agriculture, FI, and skill and infrastructure. So weightage have been given 30% for this education, 30% for health, and 20% water and education. So we have gone holistically for all the 6 parameters. And the scenario in districts have been changed. You can come down anytime because you are very near to Bharatpur. You can come down to Bharatpur, see Dholpur, how it is faring well. So this is how that you have to go for district development. This is one thing. And the same story, which we were also doing the holistic development, the same holistic development has been adopted by Niti Aayog with these 6 parameters actually and 49 indicators. Yeah. Yeah, sir.
So wonderful. What are the criteria to select implementation partners? I would also like to mention that my father is from Bharatpur. So it's good to see all the work that you've done in Bharatpur.
My goodness.
My father is from Bharatpur. He was born in Bharatpur. So.
Oh my goodness. Arwa, you never told me earlier.
No, sir.
Oh my goodness.
Good to see all the work that you've done in his birthplace.
Yeah, you see, if the credible NGOs are there, then naturally this is a huge task actually. And you see, if you Niti Aayog, they are working on 3 C's: collaboration, convergence, and competition actually. And 4th C, we are thinking of, you see, the coordination and critical thinking, and this coordination and critical thinking actually. We are working on these 2 C's. So these 5 C's on which we are working, 3 C's of this Niti Aayog. So I think we can work with the credible NGOs, no problem. We are already working with the government actually. As far as NABARD is concerned, I think maximum projects in the country has been sanctioned to Lupin by the NABARD actually, to any corporate foundation. This is the maximum, we have taken maximum advantage of this one, yeah.
Wonderful, sir. So in terms of ground NGOs, how do you all collaborate? What are the criteria for groundwork?
Actually, suppose if we are working, there are NGOs actually, and suppose they are working in education actually. They are working in education, and our area and their area remains same. Then we will withdraw, and whatever funds are there, we will give to them. We will support them because we have to support also, because we have to see that not only that we prosper, but the good NGOs should also prosper actually. And this should not be starved of the funds. So we are selecting them, and there are a number of things in Gujarat also. We have done an MOU with NGOs. We have got our knowledge partners, and government. We are definitely. I have told you that signed an MOU. So the credible NGOs, definitely we are working. It's no problem. Only thing is that we are working in the areas in which we are operating now.
The Lupin Pharmaceuticals is a multinational company. How do you see that we can have international collaborations on CSR? What are the learnings that you all can exchange and best practices that could be implemented across the globe?
As far as the learnings and best practices are concerned, I think I've already, you see, spoken a lot about it. And these learnings can be, we can interact on these learnings actually. We can learn from each other. And if you ask me critically, the problem with our fellow corporate foundations is number one. Number two, they give money to the government actually. The government is not dearth of money. Why are you giving money to the government actually? The budget of agriculture and rural development of this country is 3.9 lakh crore. It is more than any state's budget actually. So this is not a problem of budget actually. Important is this country does not need talkers, but it needs doers actually. So you have to do the work. So they must have a foundation. They should not, number one, they should not give money to the this government actually. They should collaborate with the government, I tell you. And number two thing is that they should not only have value for money, but they should have values for money. That's more important, because value for money, you see, because you can do a lot actually with this money actually, because I could not spend 13 crores rupees in Dhule district actually. This was the money which was given by my chairman from his own funds actually. It was not Lupin's money actually. I could not spend actually because because we collaborated with the NABARD and all these things. A lot of funds were coming, and here gave 200 crores. We have spent only 85 crores out of it. So this is how you see, so there should be a value of money. This is a very scarce resource actually. And I always say that this is a surplus society in the world of deficits. So you take off those who are in the deficit actually. So you have to take care of those. So corporates should think that how purposefully they should use this money, and they can transform actually. This is the, turn of the corporate's foundation and for nation building, I should say.
So well said. Value for money, but values from money and surplus society in Oasis. Very well said, sir. What are your thoughts on the new CSR laws?
I think this is a good law actually, because whatever, now whole currency of this capital has to be changed actually. You should not only talk of profits, but you should talk of prosperity now actually. And prosperity other than profits actually. And this prosperity should be shared prosperity. Then and only the corona has, you see, we have learned so many lessons from corona. This is the high time that we introspect actually, because you do not live in economy, you live in society. You live in society. So you have to give back to the society. They were not giving 2%. Now you have to give 2%. So now, because the government has made it mandatory, this is good actually. This is good actually. If 15,000 crores comes actually, so 200 districts, lower 200 districts can have 35 crores each, 7,000 crores. Upper 200 districts can have 25 crores, so it will be 5,000 crores, 5,000 crores. And the upper middle class districts, they can have 15 crores, 3,000 crores. How this 15,000 crores have been divided, 7,000 for the lowest rung of 200 districts, and 5,000 crores, 25,000 per district, for another 200 lower middle class or just middle class districts, and upper middle and middle class districts, another this 15 crores per district. So it is 3,000 crores. This is how this money should be pooled actually. This should be spent, collaborated with the government, use these research institutions actually. And a lot has been done actually, and this has to be collaborated actually. Yeah.
So IICSR is a research, development and training institution on sustainability and CSR and responsible business initiatives. What kind of courses that you foresee as running such that we can get some candidates from Lupin Foundation too? What courses we should train to existing CSR executives and
Yeah,
the upcoming workforce who would join in the times
yeah.
to come, you know?
The first and most important thing is that in corporate, most common word is passion. You have to work with passion. But I go beyond it. Not only that you have to work with passion, but you have to work with compassion. So you have to include this word actually. Compassion and empathy, they are the most important two words you should include in your courses. So you should produce the future leaders. They should have a compassion and they should have empathy actually to the poorest of the poor actually. So this is one thing. Another is that how the money should be spent. This is a more important part actually. I'm not going to name any corporate foundation, but I have seen that how money is being used by them. Just like there are some foundations which are using money just like government is using actually. So it should be a meaningful usage. It should be a purposeful usage. Important is the purposeful actually. So you can run courses for this. How to spend this money? It's a scarce resource actually. So this is another area in which we can do. Then of course, important is that what other foundations are doing actually. So there could be a very good exchange program actually. You see, in this country, what left hand is doing, right hand does not know actually. So we have to interact. We have to communicate. We have to learn and relearn actually. This should be the mantra actually. So these are some of the courses which you can run actually. Of course, there are other courses for project formulation, how to collaborate with government actually. The corporates are afraid of governments. So you should not afraid of government. Why you are afraid of governments actually? Now government have come with, you see, open heart actually, with open arms actually. They also want that some work should be done actually. So these are some of the courses I think which yes, you can do. CSR project management, CSR act orientation, CSR project monitoring, and CSR project impact assessment. So these are some of the courses which you can go ahead. And of course, CSR leadership, skill development, this is the another area because we have got a new vocabulary actually. You cannot use that the corporate's vocabulary in CSR space actually. Because I talked about passion, you need here compassion.
Thank you so much. So on this note, may I request Dr. Upadhyay to come forward and ask his set of questions.
Sita Ram ji, first of all, it's always nice to listen to you. The way you explain and the way we see your passion. When you talk about your passion is very clear there. My question to you is, like we have been in this field we were in development earlier, then we came to CSR, now we are talking about new law and all. What direction people like us, the CSR fraternity should take in this point of a juncture? As you said, a crisscross, now we are at a road where we have to decide what to do. So, आपका हम लोगों के लिए क्या advice है? What advice you give to CSR fraternity?
For CSR fraternity, important is actually we are working in 8 districts and we are working 8 districts holistically, I tell you frankly. You can come down to Bharatpur, you can talk to collector. So it has been totally, you will see that most of the works are being done by Lupin Foundation actually. So this is one thing actually. So corporates should adopt, big corporates should adopt one district. This is the most important part actually. This is the one important. If there are smaller corporate, they can adopt one block actually.
Okay.
So, and number one. Number two, they should go holistically. And your 70% work will be done if you implement government schemes actually. If you talk of empowerment line, let me talk of empowerment line, McKinsey's empowerment line, 2011. So there are 8, you see, verticals into it. Housing, energy, health, education, water, sanitation, and social security. If you see, the McKinsey's report, the construction area of house is 225 square feet. If you see the Prime Minister Awas Yojana, it is 250 square feet actually. So you are above McKinsey's line, PDS system, health is already coming up actually. Education is also reforming because of this new education policy actually. And there are a number of social security schemes, Sukanya, Atal, Durgatna Bima Yojana, Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana. You have to see that these schemes should reach to the intended beneficiaries. So 70% work will be done by these corporates. If the government schemes are, you see, they should ensure that this should reach to the poor, number one. 20% work there will be done if the whatever is lying in these institutions, laboratories actually, that should come to the field. And naturally the rest will be the involvement of the community in whole of the process. I am giving you one example. Sometimes we think that we are very intelligent. I am from MNIT. Somebody says that I am from IIT. I tell you frankly one story actually. We did desilting of ponds in Bharatpur district, which is aspirational district program. So 25 ponds were desilted over there. So then I went to collector. I told him, collector, let us see those ponds because they are full of water actually. So myself and collector went. वहां देखते हैं तो पूरा हरा हो रहा है पानी. सो मैंने कहा व्हाट इज दिस? तो द फार्मर सेड यू डोंट नो सर. मैंने आई डोंट नो कि ये तो सिंगाड़ा है, हमने सिंगाड़ा बो दिया आपके पानी में.
अच्छा.
तो आपने इफ यू स्पेंड 1.5 lakhs और हमने 1.6 lakhs का तो सिंगाड़ा ही बेच दिया इसमें से. And water is already there, so that will be used for irrigation. So these how farmers are intelligent actually.
You are right there.
ये अपने को देखना पड़ेगा एक्चुअली. हमको अपनी ये जो बवाल है ना, ये पर्दे हटाने पड़ेंगे. They are very intelligent because they are living since centuries over there. They know how to live life actually. Not the standard of living, but how they are living their life actually. Important is not the standard of living, but important is that living of life actually. So that's more important.
Definitely. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Anil Jaggi, Annie Vinod, would you all have any questions for sir?
Yeah, 1 second. 1 second, Harsha. Gupta sir, I'm so impressed to listen to your presentation. Rather, I should call it as a very motivational talk, and especially coming from a person from the corporate. तो मैं तो बोलूँगा हर्षा मैडम, गुप्ता सर का सेशन एक रेगुलर रखो, because जो बडिंग CSR लीडरशिप की बात की है गुप्ता सर ने, they should listen to him. And the best part is that what he is talking about is to synergize with the government. That is also very important because normally we run away from the government. अगर हम गवर्नमेंट से भागेंगे तो शायद हम लोग वो काम नहीं कर पाएंगे. तो बेटर ये है कि हम लोग गवर्नमेंट की इतनी सारी स्कीम सर ने बताई, तो मैं समझता हूं अगर हम लोग सब गवर्नमेंट की स्कीम के साथ सिनर्जाइज करें, बिकॉज द वॉल्यूम ऑफ गवर्नमेंट स्कीम इज वेरी वेरी लार्ज, right? Maybe as a one foundation, one trust, or one institution confined itself to one very small geography. Like in a country like India, अगर आपने जो बात करी सर वो डीएम वाली, सिंघाड़े वाली और बहुत सारी आपने बातें करी, and especially you mention about the passion and compassion, and you mention about the profitability and prosperity also. So all these things are coming from heart. So let me congratulate you and definitely would like to attend your next session. आपसे कोई क्वेश्चन इसलिए नहीं पूछ सकता कि you are a very different personality coming from the the grassroots as well as the corporate, and a very high level of positivity. So congratulations and my salute to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So lovely. So thank you very much. Yeah.
Hi, if I could quickly jump in with a question. Sir, it's been incredible listening to you, and like said earlier, we could really feel the passion with which you take the foundation ahead. So my question would be, it is so important to that how do you get the government to take you on as a partner? Do we go and suggest a program to them, or does it work that we already jump on board with the program that the government has implemented? And the second part would be, what are the challenges and cons to associating with the government? Like, would there be a lot of delay in the whole process being done, as we would think with government processes normally? So,
Yeah. Actually, only thing the problem when you face the problem you face is when if they are, you see, when you are doing some program actually, so you should be very transparent. Number one, transparency is must actually. So when you are launching any program, you invite the government officials over there first. Let them see themselves what they are doing actually. Let them interact with the beneficiaries. Let them interact with the villagers actually. So they would also realize you actually. I'm telling you one thing actually. Suppose Sita Ram Gupta is sitting in this room actually, and some villagers is coming. Of course, I've got a very passionate heart to them. But even then, myself changes when I go to the rural areas, see the plight of the poor people over there. Then I change my decision. If I don't have money actually, then I will say that I will arrange money from somewhere else actually. So actually, the government officers, including collectors, they should be invited. Number one. And if you are having some ministers, they should also be invited actually. They also want to do something actually. So these things will, you see, remove all the obstacles and hurdles as far as the government is concerned actually. And if the collector knows that the minister has gone to area, he has seen, then he will not object to you. He will not put any hurdles to you actually. And suppose BDO is there, and if he knows that the collector has seen this area, then he will not put any hurdles to you. So the important part is that you should have a continuous communication with the government people over there. And because we have to do collaboration, then we have to work with this. Because the country needs scale now. Because unless otherwise there is a scale, you cannot have visibility. And scale comes from collaboration only. So you have to work with the government. And I have faced no difficulty, I tell you frankly. I don't know how many offices are there where collectors are very often visiting my area actually. One day the divisional commissioner came actually. Secretaries come over here, no problem at all actually. Because the only thing is that we are interacting with them continuously. They have seen the work and we are supplementing their efforts. Try to make them understand that we are not doing any parallel thing. We are supplementing your efforts. And one day I jokingly asked collector, I can tell you his name also. He said that why we should support to you. I mean, whatever we have done, you can fill up in your ACR. And, your annual confidential report. And you can have better ranking of yours. He was very much impressed that day. So this is how you see, we must have those, I should say, attitude and skills, and yes, and they should know that you are working for them actually. I always say that you must treat ourselves as your extended arms actually. Yeah, Annie?
Ashok, can I ask one simple question to Mr. Gupta? Mr. Gupta, like with your experience, I can see that you have been working with a lot of local grassroots NGOs, and normal perception is that there is a trust deficit between the corporate and the NGOs, especially the grassroots NGOs, because the kind of conditions or the precondition or due diligence, whatever you call, they are so stringent that grassroots NGOs are not able to qualify to that level. जब आप grassroots पे जाते हैं तो the actual worker is a, आपने एक doer का mention किया था, that you know that IITians or doers की बात की थी, degree is secondary and if you are able to do it at a grassroots. So my experience is also same, that you know when you go and see that people working at a grassroots are different, but somehow they don't have access to the corporate funds or CSR fund. वहाँ पे क्या होता है कि जो if I'm able to write a good proposal to Lupin, right? So Lupin will give me the proposal. Maybe that I'm working good or bad, that is another area. But आपका जो challenge है, how to identify your local partners. You are focusing on collaboration. So collaboration में it's very important to have a right kind of partner to get a right kind of result. So what kind of strategy? It's a purely personal strategy, or you follow some kind of benchmarking, which is a standard for other corporates also, or which is similar with the Lupin also. So what kind of suggestion as a leader would you like to give to the NGOs as well as the corporates?
Actually, corporate also should think that they cannot do all the work actually in the field actually. And they should see the work of those NGOs first actually. They should satisfy themselves. And there are a lot of staff in the corporate foundations actually. They can help them to, you see, make their projects. And for the preparation of their projects, number one. What is required is more important is the change of mindset, I tell you frankly. Important is the change of migrant. If you behave like a government, if the corporate are behaving like a government, then nothing can happen actually.
Yeah. True.
You have come here to serve the society actually. You have to come here to serve society. Actually, I don't call it a social responsibility. It is social obligation actually. You cannot escape from it. You cannot escape from it. आप अपने घर का किचन की फायर जलती रहे उसका आपका ऑब्लिगेशन है आपके घर का चूल्हा जलना चाहिए ऑब्लिगेशन मेरा भी और आपका भी है लेकिन मोस्ट प्रोफाउंड ऑब्लिगेशन इज दैट द फायर ऑफ द किचन ऑफ द पुअर शुड आल्सो बी बर्निंग एक्चुअली वो आपका मोस्ट प्रोफाउंड सो दिस होल यू सी माइंड एटीट्यूड्स जो है वो दैट शुड चेंज इन द कॉर्पोरेट माइंड And actually what has happened in Lupin is that because I was in the government first, I tell you, I was in Rajasthan State Legislative Board.
Okay.
And I said, I am not going to work under your any president actually. The chairman asked me to whom you are going to report, to you only. Otherwise I will continue my work in the government. Then he said that till then I am working with the chairman actually. So what is happening is none of the president they can question you actually. Their attitude have also changed actually. So this is how this corporate world has to think actually. I was talking to Tatas also. They have to on project basis they have to run after their president and somebody else actually. Here they say that this is your budget, you manage your budget, how you distribute, we don't care. But only thing is that make a quarterly presentation to us. That's good. Actually, we have to be responsible actually. So this is how actually the whole mindset has to be changed, and here these leadership programs can help actually. Whole leadership program is help. You can give them examples. Number one, you can make them visit actually. And when they will visit, they will be totally changed persons. I tell you frankly.
No, I'll give you the example. In 2013, I believe that Lupin Foundation was working in Uttarakhand also. They have an office in Rishikesh. So during Kedarnath project, we had a visitor from Bangalore. He was a senior vice president of a big corporate house. And I said, कि वहाँ सर हमने जाना है वहाँ बकरी बांटनी है. So he said, I'm a big corporate executive. How you're expecting me to go a village and बकरी की बात करूँगा? मैंने कहा sir, if you don't go, you will not learn. And believe me, that one visit also changed his life, because as a senior person, he was only confined to his Bangalore office or Delhi office. But when he went to a Tehri Garhwal in a remotest village in Uttarakhand, and that every time he is coming to Uttarakhand and saying that chalo us gaon mein chalenge, yahan gaon mein chalenge. So that perception will change until and unless you interact with the people. उस गांव में एक छोटी सी महिला के लिए एक बकरी 500,000 रुपए की was livelihood for them, right? And for them it's a 1,000 rupees is just a lunch भी नहीं आता आज की डेट में. So definitely that's why I'm saying that being a very different corporate leader or CSR leader, हर्षा को जरूर सर की expertise utilize करनी पड़ेगी, because we want that all CSR leaders should think like.
Yeah, we have to think actually. Now we have to think actually, because you live. I always say that you live in the society, not you live in the economy actually.
Right.
I always to my MD also. Sometimes they said this money has been spent when we live in the society, and I have overspent money in this Corona times actually. By 1.5 times crore. They said that we are not going to give you money. But don't worry, I will do it. But I did it.
Great.
Sir, thank you so much, Anil, for your wonderful question and interactions. Yes, we all need to utilize the expertise of each other. Sita Ram sir, any final words, message to all our viewers and our students and upcoming leaders in this space?
Actually, only thing is that corporate, now it's the turn of corporate actually. I tell you frankly. Because enough has been done, you see, by the government, how government is doing, government is actually coming up also, no doubt about it. Because we had, the Chief Minister of Rajasthan has 3 meetings with me for the budget preparation actually. So you see, they are also open now. The chief ministers are open actually. So there are some new ideas actually. And why he had a meeting with me, I'm giving you one example. Actually, there are so many examples. I'm taking your time actually. In Rajasthan, when Bharat Singh Ji Shekhawat was the chief minister, and then he introduced one scheme of, you see, Bhamasa Award actually. Bhamasa Award. So Bhamasa, you know, was a person who was having a lot of money in Udaipur, and when Maharana Pratap was fighting battle with Akbar, so he was dearth of money. He gave his all money to Maharana Pratap, all the money to Maharana Pratap to fight the battle against Akbar. So the birthday of Bhamasa is 28th of June. So Bharat Singh Shekhawat came by Bhamasa Award. Anybody who can invest in the construction or in the school building or school infrastructure or anything else in education, and he will be awarded on 20th of June, not less than by CM or the governor. And you will be surprised that 791 crores has been, you see, given by the, you see, by the small farmers, or not only of corporates actually, 791 crores. And only what the government is giving, one certificate and one mala. That's it. That's it. So similar schemes, I told him, similar schemes can be formulated in the health scheme. CSC PSC ठीक करेंगे, 10 लाख रुपए देंगे तो हम आपका सम्मान करेंगे भाई 7 अप्रैल को हेल्थ दिवस पर। 100 आंगनवाड़ी ठीक कर दोगे तो हम आपका सम्मान करेंगे 14 नवंबर को नेहरू जी के जन्म दिवस पर। क्या दिक्कत है? कोई पैसे की कमी है क्या इस देश में? हैं? कुछ नहीं है। तो मैं इनको यही कहना चाहता हूँ कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड वालों को, always think that your aspirations should always be higher than resources. You should not never think of you see like government कि साहब resource नहीं है, मर गए, क्या करें हम? So aspirations should be very higher actually. Then you can leverage resources, number one. और अगर leverage resources नहीं करते हो तो गांधी जी वाला कर सकते हो, पूर्ण स्वराज उन्होंने लिया, अपनी एडवांटेज से पूरा देश को आजाद करा दिया ना उन्होंने। स्वराज करा दिया ना, है? ठीक है, ही यूज्ड हिज विल पावर टू हिज एडवांटेज एक्चुअली, देश को स्वतंत्र करा दिया। तो ऐसी चीजें नहीं है। तो कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड को आज की डेट में एक ही चीज सोचनी चाहिए, दे आर ऑल्सो पार्ट ऑफ नेशन बिल्डिंग। पहले तो प्राइम मिनिस्टर भी थोड़ा कहते थे सूट बूट की सरकार है, तो वो थोड़े से देर हो गई। अब प्राइम मिनिस्टर साहब भी कहेंगे दे आर ऑल्सो पार्ट ऑफ दिस सोसाइटी। सो हम तो हमेशा बार बार यही कहते रहते हैं। आई मेट देवेंद्र फडणवीस, तो मैंने कहा आप डरते क्यों सूट बूट की सरकार से? मैं भी कोट पहनता हूँ। उनकी सर क्या दिक्कत है? लेकिन मैं अपने गांव में जाता हूँ, कीचड़ में पैर करता हूँ, तो मुझको तो कोई गाली देता नहीं है। क्यों डरते हो आप लोग? सो ओनली थिंग इज यू मस्ट बी प्योर एट हार्ट, यू मस्ट बी कंपैशनेट, यू मस्ट हैव एम्पैथी, एंड दिस कैन बी डन एक्चुअली। सो मेरा कहना यही है कि एक डिस्ट्रिक्ट, एक ब्लॉक और काम करें। और कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड का टाइम है कि वो 15,000 करोड़ बहुत होते हैं। मुझ पे 13 करोड़ रुपए होलिस्टिक डेवलपमेंट को आई कुड नॉट स्पेंड इन वन डिस्ट्रिक्ट। सो इट्स ह्यूज मनी एंड इट कैन चेंज एक्चुअली। इसको मैं तो गवर्नमेंट ऑफिसर्स के पास जाता हूँ, उनकी फाइलों को दबाओ मत। मैं समझा नहीं सर, मैंने फाइलों को बेचारी गरीबी क्यों दबाते हो? मैंने पता है फाइल में क्या है। मैंने कि फाइल के ये ई और एल अलग अलग कर लो तो लाइफ हो जाएगी किसी की लाइफ इसमें पड़ी हुई है, इसकी फाइल में, आपकी में इसमें लाइफ दबी हुई है किसी की, तो इस फाइल को मत दबाइए आप। सो यू सी द होल सेट ऑफ माइंड हैज टू बी चेंज्ड एक्चुअली। Only thing is that you see we have to look for these softer part of human being actually. हम क्या करते हैं, सिस्टम्स की बात करेंगे, स्ट्रक्चर्स की बात करेंगे, जो हार्ड थिंग है ना उनकी ज्यादा बात करते हैं। अगर इफ यू टॉक ऑफ सॉफ्टर थिंग्स ना, तो देन होल थिंग्स कैन बी चेंज्ड। यू मस्ट बी काइंड एनफ एक्चुअली। दिन में कसम लो ना, 3 काइंड वर्ड बोलोगे, 3 काइंड एक्ट करोगे, करो ना आप, तो अपने आप सही हो जाएगा काम दुनिया में।
बिल्कुल जी, बिल्कुल।
Good.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. So very well said. Such a educative, enriching, and insightful sessions with you indeed. Thank you for joining our platform and sharing your experiences and the wonderful case studies that we all can learn from, sir.
अच्छा, एक और चीज सीताराम सर से मैं पूछना चाहूंगा, कहीं आपके यहाँ प्रोजेक्ट साइट विजिट कर सकते हैं? मैं और डॉक्टर उपाध्याय
मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि आप मेरी प्रोजेक्ट साइट धौलपुर विजिट करिए जो 2 साल की है।
ओके,
मैं भरपूर लाऊंगा आपको।
डॉक्टर उपाध्याय प्लान करते हैं हम।
श्योर
प्लीज डू इट, प्लीज डू इट।
जी, श्योर सर।
Pakka sir, sure, we'll let you know.
We should do it actually.
Yeah, because
Corporate वालों को जगाओ थोड़ा सा.
नहीं सर, वही हम लोग काम कर रहे हैं.
थोड़े से.
और आपका सपोर्ट और आपका मार्गदर्शन चाहिए होगा. और
मैं हूँ आपके डिस्पोजल पे हूँ. बस मैं इतना कह सकता हूँ.
Thank you very much.
और हर्षा से फिर माफी मांगता हूँ मैं.
It's always a pleasure to thank you for giving time to young kids like us and sharing your insights.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.